one?
What's next on the order? What did I write down?
Stuart Turner and the Flat Earth Stars.
No, I did not.
Stuart Turner solo. No, the next one, Lupen Crook, the pros and cons of eating out.
We ain't got time to jungle it about. You stole it from the start, but now you gotta do without it. Gotta count on Cinderella around and not entirely sure she'll ever feel the same the way she felt for me before.
This one.
With its filthy artwork.
Right, here viewers, is the officially sanctioned sleeve cover, covering the unofficial, well, the actual cover.
It's disgusting.
Can I show
I don't
you
know, can we?
I don't know. Are you all over 18? Have you had your shots? Can I show you? This is the real cover. The real cover. It has filth. It's filth. Anyway.
Anyway, the contents of the album itself.
It's filth.
Filth.
Filth. Pure filth.
Yeah.
Lupen Crook had made a series of lo-fi and acoustic recordings, some of them wonky, some of them not so wonky. I always felt he was a terrific songwriter. I always felt until this album that the recordings did not do the songwriting any justice. This album comes out, it's fantastically well produced, it's fantastically well recorded. It suddenly sounds like when you used to go and see him live, this is what it sounded like. Other people don't like it because they think it's bombastic. I like it because it's bombastic. But all those people who say, oh, I don't like it, it's too bombastic, but those same people would be at the gigs where it sounded like that.
Yeah.
And you just think, well, that's what it sounds like. I don't know what they wanted. They're the same people who agree with me that this album or that album that he'd made before sounded underproduced, or he would sing in an American accent for no explainable reason, or he finally made the record I think that he always was going to, and I think it's wonderful.
Because earlier on,
poetically broken piece of art.
Yeah. Earlier on, he'd been with Tap and Tin, hadn't he? And he'd I think there was pushes for him to have a big studio recording thing, and he sort of went a bit more lo-fi in the end. And so and then this is a couple of records down the line, isn't it?
It is, and I think it's great. I think it's amazing. But I have no problem with bombast.
No.
So it's great.
Yeah.
It sounds great. The songs are great. He's
typically warped.
It is
twisted.
And he's obviously controlled every element of it, including the artwork. And I think that's. I have no problem with it. Whereas I did have problems. I felt that some of his earlier stuff, the songs are great, but just why they sounded flat to me in a lot of ways, and that one not so much. Not in any way. In fact, I love it. I think it's great. It's the one I listen to. It's my go-to Lupen Crook album, and I wanted to include a Lupen Crook album because I think of the last 10 years or so, it's significant in terms of Medway records. There you go. I'll put it back in its cover, lest young eyes be offended.
Yeah.
They might be.
They might be.
They've gone to bed now, actually. Anyway, there we go.
Next stop, the Milkshakes and the Prisoners at the MIC.
Oh yes. Again,
we've got vinyl for this.
We have vinyl for this one. I think there's only. I don't know. There probably is a CD reissue, but here it is. It's a lovely purple affair on Big Russ's Empire Records. Again, it's included as an example. It's to typify a thing.
Yeah.
And
I thought you might have been cheating. With
I
that.
am cheating.
Yeah,
I'm cheating quite extraordinarily because basically I couldn't decide between
the Milkshakes and the Prisoners. So
and well, no, I basically to try and make the list shorter.
okay.
I go for an album that's a split album
Okay.
because I wanted to include the Prisoners album and I wanted to include the Milkshakes album.
Yeah.
Or at least one of Billy's albums. It was either this or The Last Forefathers and Medway Wheelers by the Buff Medways.
Okay.
But ultimately I was trying to get it under 10. I failed, but this is there to try and tick all the boxes, I guess, in a way. But also because it captures something else. It's something beyond the music that's actually entailed. It's an era that I wasn't party to.
Yeah.
It's a time in Medway music history that I wasn't around for.
No.
But you put this record on and you feel like you're there.
Mm-hmm.
It has a live atmosphere and I like that. I think the Prisoners recordings edge it for me, but the Milkshakes are a great band.
Yeah.
The Prisoners are a great band. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So last night at the MIC in this case does not stand for Made in Chelsea. It stands for the Medway Indian Community Club, doesn't it?
Yes.
So that was a venue initially intended for the Medway Indian community to meet up and socialise, but it kind of turned into a sort of an indie band venue instead.
Yeah, but a certain type of certainly a certain very. When people talk about Medway garage bands, they are talking about bands that played at the MIC.
Yeah.
But it's a very specific point in time. It's a couple of years, in the sort of mid to late 80s, and then it was all gone. Got bulldozed to make way for a flyover that's been bulldozed to make way for a bus lane. Well, a bus lane.
Oh, bus lane. Yeah, bus lane. Yeah.
There we
Yeah.
go. Anyway, there's been whole books beyond your own book written about that particular thing.
Yes.
The
Kids Are All Square by Ian Snowball and
Bob
Collins. Should we forget that one?
Yes. Yeah. We should never forget Bob Collins.
Never forget him.
Children, don't forget Bob Collins.
Mm.
Should we talk about Bob Collins?
We could talk about Bob Collins.
Let's talk about Bob Collins.
Skipping ahead down the list a bit.
Let's skip ahead. We'll skip ahead. We'll come back.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it seems relevant.
Yes.
Let's talk about Bob Collins and his
Segue
band.
nicely.
He was in a band called the Dentists. Now, I wanted to include the Dentists album because I like the Dentists. This is not like an Alcoholics Anonymous thing. You don't have to be embarrassed to like the Dentists. I am unashamed in my love of the Dentists. My name's Stuart, and I like the Dentists. However, I have had a lot of trouble trying to fix on one Dentist album.
Okay.
I didn't want to include more than one Dentist album because I felt that was, again, I'm trying to get down to 10 choices that I failed to do.
Yeah, you did.
So, here we go. Dentist album. My favourite Dentist album is Behind the Door, I Keep the Universe,
By the Dentists.
by the Dentists.
Yeah.
I used to think my favourite album was their first album, for personal reasons that have nothing to do with the music whatsoever, mostly because the birth of my son, immediately after he was born, I went and bought a copy from a second-hand record shop.
Okay.
And I associate the Dentist's first album with the birth of my son. However, he's been an absolute pain in the arse recently, so I have actually, I've gone off that one.
Okay.
I'm joking.
When he behaves himself.
Again, I'm joking. Then I discovered their second album, and that became my favourite Dentist album.
Okay.
Heads and How to Use Them. I think it's a beautiful piece of work. However, their 1993 effort is is, yes, still now my favourite Dentist album.
Okay.
It is. I wasn't around in the Medway area at that time, and to be honest, I don't think the Dentists were around the Medway area much of that time. They were mostly touring America endlessly. But I think if I'd discovered them then, they'd have been probably my favourite band in the world.
Yeah.
They were exactly the kind of music I was listening to at that time, and it's exactly the kind of album I was listening to at that time.
Yeah.
The fact that I discovered it only recently is actually quite a surprise to me.
Nice.
And I blame, the band Buffalo Tom exclusively for this. Put back their album release, but the drumming is extraordinary, and the drummer has gone on to be in the band These Guilty Men, who are very, very good, and they have a very good album that I did consider for the list, but I was trying to get it down to 10. So in a way, this is kind of trying to crowbar in These Guilty Men. These Guilty Men, this one's for you, Rob. All right, extraordinary drummer.
Who's also in Bob Collins?
He's also in Bob Collins' solo band, Bob Collins and the Full Nelson, who made a very, very good album also. And but that, to me, in the what ultimately swung it is the fact that it contains the song "Not My Flag." I don't know whether you're familiar with the song "Not My Flag."
Yeah, first track on the
first track, side one, side it's a CD. But
side one, track one.
Yeah, exactly. It's a wonderful, wonderful pop song. It's beautiful, beautiful. There's a great deal of wonderful pop songs on the album.
Gas, which sprouted there.
Gas is good. Gas is good. Spaceman is amazing. Apple Freak is fantastic. Still no idea why Eyes didn't make the cut, but there we are. But Not My Flag is everything I think about the whole Brexit thing in 3.5 minutes.
Very prescient then.
But 25, 26 years ago, it's predicting the rise of English nationalism in a way that tragically has come true. I have no time for it, and neither has that song.
No.
And it's beautiful.
Okay.
And also the guitar playing is brilliant. I mean, it's quite a song. I mean, it's fierce guitar playing, fierce drumming, amazing words, brilliant tune. And if that was the only song on the album, it would still make the top 10.
Yeah.
There you go.
Remind me, there's a guitarist in your band.
Yeah,
what's his name?
Bob Collins.
Bob Collins.
Bob Collins. Yeah.
Okay.
Move on.
Next one, again snappily titled Len Bright Combo presents the Len Bright Combo by the Len Bright Combo. Yeah.
It's a catchy title. I have a CD reissue of the original album.
Marvellous.
Here. I don't have the
You've
original.
got a spangly cardboard one. I've only got a jewel case there.
Yeah, spangly cardboard. With
Can cardboard be spangly?
it's quite spangly. There's no
So this
spark.
is who's in the Len Bright Combo?
Well, the Len Bright Combo is Reckless Eric, of Reckless Eric fame. You might know him from the band Reckless Eric. No, it was punk singer-songwriter Reckless Eric who gave the world, the whole world.
Yeah.
In his sparkly teenage years, had a bit of a drinking problem, moved to Medway, and recorded 2 albums with the bass and drums from the Milkshakes.
Yeah.
Big Russ and
Chris Brand.
yes. Is that an early appearance of the Deerstalker? I think it is.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, there we go. Headcoats on, headcoats
Yeah.
down, headcoats. So there we are. It's lo-fi. It's the best thing to ever happen in Upchurch Village Hall. it's
I heard about a fantastic fete they held there once.
really.
Yeah.
It's still not as good as this.
Was it not? Oh.
No. I mean, there may be children conceived in Upchurch Village Hall whose lives will matter less than this record. It's a wonderful thing, and again, it's that thing. If it was only one track, and if that track was Shirt Without a Heart, then it would still be in the top 10. It's a wonderful record.
That is quite a dark and twisted album as well. This one.
It's not as dark and twisted as the sequel. Combo Time, the follow-up album,
yes,
is much darker and much nastier. But this is a lo-fi pop classic.
Yeah. The two albums were recorded within the space of about 6-8 months or so.
Well, they've been around a long time.
No,
and they did a sellout gig a couple of years ago now, to celebrate the re-release of this reissue. And I didn't go, and I kicked myself afterwards. But they're just really great literate pop songs, recorded in this really, really lo-fi way. And there's various reviews from the time that said it would have been better if they put the musicians in the same room as the microphones. But the thing is, they actually had microphones in the next room. It's not actually an exaggeration.
Next one, Theatre Royal.
Theatre Royal.
Theatre Royale.
Theatre Royal.
Theatre Royal.
Theatre Royal. Let's not. Let's
French.
not. Well, no. It's not French. It's the band name is a reference to the Theatre Royal in Chatham, which is possibly the least French place in the entire world.
Yes. And not even a theatre anymore, which is kind of how the band got their name.
It was being demolished, revamped. I don't know what you want to call it.
Demolished and turned into flats.
Except now it's a kebab shop.
Flats behind it, I think.
A posh kebab shop, but a kebab shop nonetheless. A Turkish restaurant, if you will. On the ground floor. It was a majestic, should have been listed building. And obviously, I'm not saying money changed hands, but certainly no one tried to stop a listed building from being reworked into a bunch of flats. The facade has been preserved for posterity. But this was a band that was a band. This was Long Weekend, a band that I followed about for several years, and they were great. They were a really good live band. Intermittently they were a really great live band. They'd be brilliant and then they'd be awful. You'd go and see them and they'd be absolutely the best live band you'd seen in ages, and then you'd see them the next day even and they'd be terrible. And I used to go and see them regularly whenever I could. I loved them to bits, and I became friends with them, and they fell apart for a variety of reasons, not insignificantly because of a scathing review in the Enemy. But out of it came the Theatre Royal. The core of the band, the singer, guitar player, drums, became the core of Theatre Royal, and it was their first album, From the Rubble Rises, as a reference to the Theatre Royal being rejuvenated, but also from the rubble of their own back history, incorporating bass player Brendan, who they'd known from the band Needs Must, and it was great. Straight away the live gigs became so much more consistent, they became so much better live than the band that was before,
Mhm.
and then slowly, just slowly, and they were always wrote good songs, but slowly, the songs just got better and better and better, and the live performances got better and better and better, and just always consistently better. There was none of that, one day they're great, one day they're awful, one day they're great, one day they're awful. They were just great. And then this last year, saw them play at the 100 Club, supporting the Claim, and it was just, they'd come in, they were everything I hoped they'd be like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
When they were Long Weekend, just in one gig, and it was great. And it wasn't out yet, but they were flogging their new album.
Yeah.
So I bought a copy, and
Fantastic, man.
it's lying around here on the floor. Here it is.
Mildly disturbing cover.
Oh yeah. German, you know.
Okay.
German digital artist who did the
Okay.
cover. It's great. The cover is fantastic.
It is, yeah.
The album, and here it is. And then it fell out of my head. I always misquote it, so I'm just reading it so that I don't get it wrong. It's wonderful. It's everything that they've been working towards the whole time, I think. Well, in my opinion, it's everything they were working towards for the whole time they were Long Weekend, and for the whole time they've been Theatre Royal, is building up in tiny increments to this point. And I hope they'll carry on getting incrementally better. But for now, this one, it's beautiful, and it's a pop gem, and it's on wonderful ivory coloured vinyl, and it's available from them and from their record label. What can I say, really? It's a pop record with guitars. There are references to Medway in it, but less so than on previous records. And
They like their rivers, don't they? Well, they like the river.
The river. Well, it's hard to avoid it. It's right in the middle of it. As they put it, the river runs through us. It's kind of, it's right there, but there's fewer river references than on previous efforts. I just feel it's fully formed now, whereas I don't think it was necessarily on earlier recordings. I think they were working towards that. That down there on the floor. And they've reached it now, and it's great. Yeah. And that's not to take it away from anything they've done previously, or any bands they were previously, but that is it. And this is not them having to account for a bunch of other bands. This is not me saying, oh, this represents a bunch of other bands. This is standalone, on its own. This is great. Yeah. You know, in other ways where I've had to say previously, they typify a certain thing. No, it's just great. Yeah. And there you go.
Okay.